What you think, buddy? You like your new bathtub?
I'm not sure about this.
You'll get used to it.
So welcome back, everybody. We have got a cool build in store today for our outdoor entertaining area. All right, so if we're gonna be doing all this cooking out here and entertaining, there's two things we desperately need. A little bit of countertop space to prepare some food and just put pots, pans, things like that. And we need us a sink out here to wash our hands and again, clean up. So we've got something unique in mind that we're doing today. I've bought a few things and we're gonna make a custom sink area like you've probably never seen before. I hope it turns out, it looks good in my head, but it could look horrible in person. It's gonna serve as a dog washing station with hot and cold water here to wash small dogs, large dogs, and a huge 4-foot long sink. That's right, so we can wash the biggest pots and pans that we could possibly ever out here while we're cooking and entertaining. Sit back, relax, let's get started. All right, I'll take a moment to explain where we're at because I'm sure you're curious what's going on. What I have done here is built a rough cabinet frame. So this area right here that is dropped down, this is where I'm going to be putting this tub right here. This is actually a drinking trough for cattle is what it's mainly used for. I picked it up from Tractor Supply. I've always kind of envisioned an idea out here of having a rustic looking tub. This is 4 foot long, 2 foot wide, 1 foot tall. And the reason we want to go with a tub this big is because we're out here entertaining and cooking. We're going to have huge like crab bowl pots, peanut bowl pots, things like that. And I want a big sink to clean them in. This also looks kind of rustic and cool for the area. And we want to make this a dog washing station. So I have a lab and this should be big enough to put him in out here. We're going to have hot and cold water so we can give him good baths outside. And even in the fall and winter, we'll have hot water to bathe him in. We just have to figure out how to put a drain in and convert this to a sink. So that's what I built this area for right here. It's 47 inches wide, even though that tub's almost 48 inches because we're gonna be capping the end here with some trim boards and some corrugated steel. I'll show you that here in a second. So my wife wants me to put corrugated steel all the way around the front. You know, that's kind of a decorative look that a lot of people do. And then we're gonna trim it out. That's why I've had to do some odd measurements here to make sure my final result, once I cap it with trim boards and metal on the outside, I gotta keep in mind it's gonna be quite a bit larger. Now the step up, this goes to a tabletop prep area. I'll show you here in just a minute. I purchased a 5-foot long stainless table that is 30 inches deep. I went ahead and went with a large one. Now we can put pots and pans up here. We can prep a little food out here since it's going to be on this wall, and this is our cook area. So it'd be really nice having a prep countertop. She wants a really unique design here, which I've been kind of struggling with, honestly, on how to make this look good and work out. We're just kind of winging it. So what these are right here, we're going to have some shelves in here, and they're going to appear to be floating. So the reason these boards stop right here is we're about to put plywood shelf tops on here and here, so we can just put a few minor things in here. Shampoo and not much else, maybe a little bit of soap. This is outside, it's going to get wet. We're not putting much in here. But we're going to put steel right here and trim it out. Same thing over here. Trim this out with a piece of steel. This is just a brace, by the way, until I move this. And then she wants the center section to stay open with all you're going to see is 2 plywood shelves. That's why I didn't finish framing out in here. She showed me a picture, it's kind of what she envisioned, so that's what we're going with. So now what I need to do is get this out here, because this area is not level. Even though I built this on level concrete, we're going to have to go out here and set it against this fence and dig out where all the posts go and get it firm on the ground. The reason I'm not worried about burying this in the ground or putting it on pads is because we're actually going to screw this to the fence, and there's 6x6 posts that are concreted in the ground, and we're for sure going to attach not only to the fence boards but to one of those 6x6 posts with some heavy anchors. So this isn't going anywhere. We're just going to have to dig some rock out and get everything nice and level, attach it to the fence. It's not going to blow away on us. All right, so I got the cabinet set where I want it. What I had to do, very quick and easy. Because the ground slopes this direction, I had to dig out a little bit of the rock where all 3 of the back posts are, so this would set down nice and level. I actually have it at a slight slope, which is just the way I want, so stuff doesn't roll off the countertop here. And then I had to make sure I had it level this way because the sink that's going to be over here, we want to get the water as close as we can to the middle, although the way this sink is going to be, because it's not a true sink with a slope bottom, it's going to hold some water. It's just the way it is. So you can see we've got the level very close. I'm happy with that. So what I'm going to do is start taking some lag bolts. Right behind here is a 6x6 post holding the fence up. It's way down to the ground and concreted in. So we're going to lag this cabinet set in there. We're also going to lag it underneath on the bottom side runner right there. And then I'm going to go around the back side of the fence, and everywhere there's a 6x6 post, I'm going to run some deck screws through the fence, actually into the post itself. So we're going to have a lot of fasteners here, making this nice and sturdy. All right, so today I have me a helper out here.
You do.
You haven't seen Tiffany in a little while. She's been busy behind the scenes, so she's gonna help me paint up some trim right here. So the metal that you're seeing me install over there on the sink, we're gonna trim that out so we don't see all the screws and the cut edges and things like that. I'm just gonna use basic pressure treat 1x4s here. And Tiffany went and picked out some paint at the hardware store yesterday that she wants.
Yeah, we're gonna accent the other darker colors out here and just kind of break up all that galvanized material and all the gray.
Yeah, that's very true. So there's gonna be so much metal over there on that. I'm actually shocked she wanted metal. Normally she doesn't like this look, but I guess for outside she thought she wanted it. But that's gonna be way too much metal. So she got a color close to these chairs and stones, and we're gonna trim that out, like she said, break it all up so it's not just so shiny over there. All right, so while we're letting some stuff dry, let's tell you about today's sponsor, Landguard. They are makers of awesome raised bed gardens and accessories. So they come flat packed like this. We had a couple show up to us in the mail. Really easy to handle and open. This is how it comes packed up inside. Everything is nice and thin. There's also a hardware pack off to the side that comes with this as well. Comes with simple to read instructions. Everything is super easy to put together here on this particular raised bed garden bed that we picked out. So all we had to do was just slap on all 4 corner legs. By the way, those are really nice aluminum legs. The bottom is reinforced and supported, which is great because you're about to see how much compost we're going to put in here for some planting. And then Tiffany and I were able to just slide the sides in and then use the included hardware to bolt all this together. It took us about 10 minutes to do the first one and about 6 minutes to do the second one once we learned kind of how to do this. And it was just a super easy process overall. By the way, I should mention, none of these edges were really sharp, and I'm going to show you some caps that they have here in a minute. Unlike some other raised beds that we've put together in the past, you have to be very careful about how sharp the edges are. So it's got rubber caps to go on top right here to kind of decorate things up, take away any sharp corners. And those edges that you're seeing exposed, well, there's nothing sharp there at all. Got caps on the bottom. These are these nice aluminum legs I was telling you about. And then we set these up outside, and I'm going to show you how we're going to plant these for this coming fall and especially next spring. These are going to be awesome out here in our new outdoor area. All right, y'all, so we have these fully loaded up with some really nice and rich compost that I just went and picked up with my dump trailer. We always keep a lot of that on hand. Let me tell y'all something. I have got these loaded with almost a full tractor bucket, and well, the bottoms, I was scared they'd be bowed and popped out. They look like they're handling the weight just fine. So, and this stuff just got rained on, so it's very, very heavy. I will say I'm happy to see these come with aluminum legs, not just some stamped steel. And they're thicker than the steel itself. One thing worth noting on the top, unlike some other raised beds we've purchased in the past, these don't have no sharp edges. Everything's nice and rolled over. Again, we're using aluminum. They're also using galvanized hardware. That's great because this stuff is prone to rusting, so I like that they're doing the extra coating, whereas everything else typically comes with cheaper zinc coating. All right, y'all, we are sweaty. We're burning up. It was 113 today on the heat index. So, man, you can see we're nasty. but we want to get these planted before dark. Well, how cool would it be to come over here and pick some fresh herbs and stuff to go put right into your food? So that's what we want to use these for. I picked up a few little marigolds here because they're really good about repelling insects. So that's a good little flower. And we can also just put flowers in these for some color at different times of the year as well. All right, so in this first Landguard bed, we're gonna put a couple marigolds. Tiffany's got a point. A couple things that we can plant this time of year are parsley and dill over there. And they kind of get big and bushy, so it might make sense to put the marigolds in the middle, put say a bushy dill plant over here and a big parsley plant on the other side. All right, so here goes our first planting in our new beds. And we can change these out every year. Believe it or not, I got these for $1 on sale. So not like, oh, we got a whole lot of money and some flowers here. All right, these are gonna be tiny little seeds. Basically what I've did to plant these in the past, because it's the wrong time of year, typically we buy our herbs in little plants like this, but all we could get was a seed. They're so tiny, I'll just sprinkle some around and kind of water them in, and I've had parsley and basil and other stuff take doing like that before. All right, so looks like we're gonna put a little parsley in right here, water it in, and see if it takes. All right, and over here, she's gonna put a little dill in, another super tiny seed. Just put a few right there, call it good, and those plants get so big. All right, we've decided, even though it's the wrong time of year, we're gonna risk it and try to plant some basil and peppermint. That's something Tiffany really wants. Really, we should be planting this in the spring, but we'll put a little on each side of a couple marigolds over here. Fingers crossed, something may grow. At least we do get some shade here in the afternoon, but they will take some full sun during the middle of the day. Oh my goodness, that's the tiniest seed I've ever seen.
Super tiny.
Oh my goodness, that is, I can't even show that on camera. That's like smaller than a grain of sand. We have no idea if it'll take or not. We'll just kind of, I mean, that seed's so tiny you don't even want to cover it up. I think watering it in will be just fine. What you got over here?
Basil.
Basil. All right, I like basil, and it typically grows well. Another super tiny seed. All right, so we've got these all planted up. This looks so nice, having something to break up this big back wall right here. And it's gonna be awesome, especially come next spring when we come over here and just pick some stuff to put right into our dishes we're cooking out here. Here's the other thing I really like about these. The look, I picked those out on purpose. Not only does that particular color shed a lot of sun so we don't get as hot. Be careful with your colors, that makes a big difference. But it matches what we're building right here in this episode. If you take a look at all these fronts and everything else right here. So that's awesome. All right, so a huge shout out and thank you to Landguard for providing these for us. They look awesome in this area. They definitely look far better built than the ones that we've used in the past. If y'all are interested in any of their products, they have a bunch of different planter beds and accessories. I'll put a link down in the description. Go check them out. All right, so what I have here is a stainless tabletop that I purchased online. I just got a really good price on it, but it's got a little bit of a problem. You can see these right here are where you attach legs because there's supposed to be a shelf here, and this is supposed to be freestanding. I'm gonna use it as a topper for the cabinet base that I built out there. So I need to cut these leg extensions off because we're not obviously gonna use legs at all. And this is making contact with the wood out there. All right, let's see how this fits now. All right, I'm gonna do some minor trimming on the back side. All right, other than trimming out a little bit of a 4x4 post on the back side, this is going to be nice. Now we still have a protective cover on there, we'll remove that last, but that's gonna give us a really nice working surface right there. All right, and as you can see, we'll be making this into a sink over here and a little dog wash station. And we'll be mounting a faucet here to the wall. This all should work out quite well. We still got a lot of trimming and some other stuff to do. I'll tell y'all what, it has got so hot out here today. I've already had to change clothes once because I was so soaked in sweat. And I got kind of sick earlier. I got so hot. I got overheated bad, so I had to go put on some swimming trunks and jump in the pool. And I'm back to getting so hot again. The only way I'm gonna be able to stay out here and keep working is to keep working for a little bit, jump in the pool, work a little bit. So yeah, I definitely don't have on what looks like professional attire by no means, but I'm trying to keep from overheating. It is just so miserable hot down here in Florida. But it'll be fall and winter time before you know it. All right, a couple more trim pieces here on the corner. And I'm gonna caulk all these gaps and little nail holes, paint it all one more time, and we are trimmed out. It's already looking dramatically different. All right, so today is plumbing day. We got quite a bit to do. So to start with, I need to figure out where I'm gonna mount my faucet. So I picked this particular faucet up off of Amazon. It feels very well made, and it's got a nice sprayer one. That's something we're gonna want for big pots and pans and our dogs, since we're kind of making this as a dog wash station also. So I've got to figure out where I'm gonna mount it. Behind this fence, there's a big 2x6 right here, so I know I can't mount into that. Here, and we've got another problem. So these are designed with these nuts back here to go through a thin-walled sink, like a commercial sink. They're not maybe 1/8 of an inch thick. Well, I've got to go through 3/4 inch thick boards right here. I don't have enough room here to do that and to attach to the backside. So what we're gonna have to do is drill out some large holes that this fits all the way through, and I can come in from the backside of my fittings and attach to this. What that also means is I'm gonna have to build some sort of an aluminum plate right here to cover those extra large holes. And this is actually gonna mount to that plate, which we're gonna have to bolt to the fence. A little aggravating, not necessarily happy about the way it's gonna look, but I have no other option since we're trying to get these small fittings that have specialized O-rings on them, so I have to use them to go through these thick fence boards. Now, once we get this installed, we can go ahead and connect the rest of our plumbing back to the hot and cold water lines at the house. And I want to do that first so all that glue can be setting up and drying today. Then we'll work on the drainage for this sink right here. All right, so I've got my sink pretty well centered up where I want. I see the dead center of the sink, which happens to be on that gap right there. So we're gonna line this up, make some marks. Oh, this thing is heavy. All right, let me show you what we got going on here because I may not record the whole process. It's relatively boring. But right here is my on-demand water heater. So coming out this side is my hot water. So I put a T in right here. This is a CPVC line, which by the way is rated for hot water. Don't run hot water on regular PVC line. So I put a T in so I can run back to the house and put a cutoff valve here going to the sink. I did the same thing on the cold water line that feeds my water heater. Got a cutoff valve right back here, teed into that line. So we can send hot and cold water now over to the sink. Put me some elbows in. We're gonna run along the fence, screwing in with some clips all the way down to here, come up and go into the sink. And down here on the very end, I'm gonna put some cutoff valves to where I can kill the system with the cutoff valves I already have, open some right here and drain the lines. That'll winterize this. Even though we're in Florida, we do get cold enough temperatures from time to time that will bust pipes. So something that's outside and not necessarily like this, I want to be able to cut it off at the house, drain it whenever we're going to get these cold snaps, and then you can just come out and turn 2 valves on and send water right back to the sink. I think that's a smart thing to do. Now I'm going to come back later and wrap these pipes in some insulation, just like I've did over here. That'll help protect this from the sun, even though CPVC is quite UV resistant, by the way, and it'll protect it from the cold. All right, y'all, if we come to the back side, straightforward and simple. I'm just gonna let the sink drain out on the ground. No big deal. It's just gonna water the grass. And I made sure I kept the pipe inside of these posts right here, along with all this plumbing. So if you're coming by on the lawnmower, you're naturally gonna stay outside of this stuff anyways. If you see what I've done right here, I've got 2 different drains. So in the wintertime, this allows me to winterize. I can cut the valves off up there. I've got the pipes sloped all the way down to here. Open these 2, I can drain the faucet, I can drain the lines, don't have to worry about nothing busting. And we're gonna insulate these later on. Also, I think I'm gonna put hookups right here to where I could thread on garden hoses. That way I have cold water and a hot water hookup right here. That would be nice as well. All right, here is the star of the show, Ruger. He's gonna get his first bath in this. We're gonna try this thing out. Come on, buddy, try out your new sink. You ready to get a bath? This dog loves water. You ready to get a bath? All right, so a lot of people have been asking if we were going to do stairs up to here. We may in the future, but he's only 60 pounds, 66 pounds. He's full grown. That's as big as he's going to be, so he's good to go. But we can always add stairs in the future. He's easy to pick up. Our other dog weighs about literally 10 pounds, so we think we're good there. Plus, this is a dual purpose sink. Now we can wash big pots and pans in there, all kinds of stuff. I really do like this faucet that I got online, y'all. It comes with a bunch of extra gaskets, seals, O-rings. Like I said, a different end caps for this so we can change the spray pattern.
Oh, this will be nice not having to bend over.
Yeah, I know, we don't have to bend over at all for this dog. We normally have to bathe him out in the yard, don't we, buddy? Oh yeah, that feel good? That feel good? And our other little dog is super sensitive to cold. So now we have hot water out here. This is gonna be so nice being able to bathe the little dog that'll fit all the way down in here with some warm water. Now Ruger, he's always hot. He loves cold water. All right, so Tiffany's brought up a valid point and something we may add here before long. She says she would like to also maybe have a hose hookup so we can spray up underneath him, up under his legs, everywhere else. I think that's a really good idea. That's something we can plumb in out here since we already have the plumbing. Maybe just do a spigot and hook up right here with a hose that lays around, and then we can just wash him off. So I think that's a really, really good idea. What you think, buddy? You like your new bathtub?
I'm not sure about this.
You'll get used to it. All right, y'all, here we are next day. We got some better lighting so you can see what's going on out here. Project complete. So definitely a unique look with the metal and the water trough right here for animals. Like I said, due to the design, this is not meant to be a sink, so this isn't caved down. It will hold a little bit of water, but that's okay. It's gonna rain in it, it's gonna pour out. This is just a cool conversation piece for outside. Good dog wash station, and somewhere, now that we have so much room in here, especially up to the spigot right here, that we can wash our huge pots and pans. I really love this. And Tiffany's exactly right. We are gonna put, I think, a spigot in down here, roll a little 6-foot hose up, and that's gonna be perfect for washing and cleaning off the undersides of the dogs. And we can put a spray nozzle on that if we want. So we're gonna have multiple ways to spray down. It's gonna be so nice having this big tabletop out here to prep some food. And I think I forgot to mention, this is 30 inches deep, so we went with a much larger one as well. Don't worry about the shelves, y'all. We're not really planning on putting much out here. A few shampoo bottles inside. We know this stuff's gonna stay wet. It's gonna get bugs and other stuff in it. That's why we're really not gonna use that much other than stuff that's in containers. And as we pan on around, we've got future plans for this big open area over here, some seating area for eating. And then now this wall doesn't look quite as plain. We're gonna put some signs and stuff up here, but we got our nice Landguard planter beds over here. This is gonna be really cool whenever we're actually coming over here and picking some herbs and stuff out of there to cook with. So we take a look around, you can see our big outdoor entertaining area is coming to life. We still have a lot of cool plans for some things in the future. Me and Tiffany just thought of an idea that we're gonna do over here. I'm gonna save that as a surprise. It's gonna be awesome. We are so looking forward to fall and winter time. It'll be here before you know it. We're gonna literally spend every afternoon out here, fires lit, music going, whether it's just us or entertaining for friends. Oh, this is gonna be such a cool spot. And we can cook out here, stargaze. Man, looking forward to it. So I've got an idea, because we're gonna use so much wood out here cooking and fire pits. I think I've decided on the back side right here, we're gonna put a little roof, and I am going to do a wood storage area along with a little cart so we can load up the different types of wood, because we're gonna have firewood, cooking wood, all kinds of other stuff, put it in the cart and wheel it around over to our cooking area. We thought about doing it over here, but it's gonna be a nice bit of drive right in the backside with the tractor, stack the wood up, and to keep it out of the area looking nice and clean. All right, y'all, thanks for watching. This was a fun, very long, but very fun episode. Don't forget, if you wanna check out the Landguard planter beds, they have all different types. Links down in the description. Go check them out. We appreciate them sponsoring this video, and we appreciate you watching and supporting us. Y'all take care.